I'm feeling a little philosophical today. It's Sunday as I record this, and I've been reading some stuff over the last few days. It's been very pleasant to have a little bit of time out from the interviews. I will be bringing some interviews back, have no worries on the channel, but it's been nice to have a little bit of time to myself to catch up on reading and a bit of writing, answering emails. By the way, a big thank you to everybody who's been donating and keeping the channel going. I really appreciate that. That's very kind. I couldn't keep this going without your support, and I appreciate that. And all the comments and stuff, even the trolls, I thank you for your differences of opinion, even though some of them perhaps are not fueled with love, shall we say, but whatever. It's interesting, is it not, that over the last 2 years, certainly in my life, in the last 2 years, I've been looking at a whole host of different things and rapidly going down the rabbit hole, as they say, to discover what is going on, what the world is about, what this life is. And it does seem, I've got somebody who I want to get on the show fairly soon, that everything that we have told, the lies that we have been told, I can't think of the word, the non-truth, what is that damn word? You can see I'm struggling to express myself today because the amount of absolute tosh that we have been told, the narrative is so skewed, so wrong. And we swallow it up. Most of the stuff, if not all of it, that is spewed out of the tell-lie vision is programming us to believe something, to keep us in a certain area, to keep us like cattle, believing things, believing that the world is the way it is. And it does seem that it isn't. And this journey has been about being open-minded and taking difficult subjects and allowing myself to say, is that possible? Is it possible, for example, that the world, the Earth as we know it, is not a spinning globe flying through space, that it might be something else? And for example, you know, you get the people who are saying, but it's a flat Earth. And then those that say that it's a globe Earth. And I think to myself, well, is it one of either? Maybe there's something else. It seems that people say, no, it's a flat Earth. And of course, we can see that it's not flat. It undulates. There are hills. I've walked over the hills, been up mountains in Scotland, in Wales. I know it's not flat. The sea, of course, is flat, but the land isn't flat. It undulates and there's valleys and things. But of course, what they mean is it goes on. It's not in a ball. And then there's, of course, people who say, no, don't be silly. We've seen the pictures from NASA and all of that. And of course, then there's those that say, well, all of the pictures of NASA is absolute rubbish. It's all made up. It isn't a ball either. And I personally now have come to the conclusion it's neither one or the other, that these are very good distractions. It's like, how do you plead? And you're told in a court, you know, you've got to plead. Are you guilty or not guilty? Which is it? And you believe that that's the only choice there is. But you could say, well, actually, I don't need to plead. There's no case to answer. This is irrelevant. And the same with the flat Earth and the globe Earth. I mean, personally, I've come to the conclusion now that, and people may think I've just gone off the rocker here, that anything I cannot see does not exist. That everything is being created in a way a bit like a video game on the fly. That things are only here because I see them. That everything may be there or may not be there. It's Schrodinger's box, isn't it? Has the cat died because he's in the box? If I open the box, will he be dead or will he be alive? Is he already dead? Is he there trying to get... I mean, it's we try to understand what life is about, and we're fed so many bits of rubbish. And in the end, it seems to me that everything that we're told we have to take on face value. We have to, go, well, take it with a pinch of salt. Everything, because it may not be true that we've ever been into space at all, that even space is there. Who knows? I've never been there. Who knows whether there's this thing called the firmament around? I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I've never seen either of it. How do we know that the Earth is flat and it goes on for miles and miles and miles and miles, or that it's globular? All I can tell you is that everything that I see and can go up to and touch exists. But what is behind me now, I do not know if that is there. You can see it because it's on a camera. But that doesn't mean it exists. A friend of mine is trying to put together some seminars. He sent me a video and he didn't want to appear on the video himself, so he's used an AI character. And it is the most lifelike person, and I use the word carefully there, person, because we know persons are made up things. They're not real. That's artificial. Anybody who calls you a person is telling you that you are not real, that you're a dead entity. We know that because the government write to persons, don't they? Mr. capitalized name. That's all persons. They're not real. It's not real people. So this artificial person was sitting there saying about this seminar and blah, blah, blah. So lifelike. And I thought, my God, AI has become so good now, the technology to be able to conjure up somebody that looks like somebody, a person that looks like a real being, or a woman in this case, and you just think, and animated and talking. I thought, you cannot believe what you see on a video. You cannot even know that I exist. You can only, I guess, what is difficult to program at the moment, possibly, is the passion and all the mistakes and all the foibles that an individual has, the itching of the nose just then, the not quite able to pull the sentences out as clearly as possible, because AI tends to be a little too perfect at the moment. So you can spot it, you can see it, you know it. But it is presumably going to be possible to put in all the sort of nonsense that people have, the mistakes that you make, what makes us genuine, real. But how will we know? What I'm trying to say in this video, and I'm not doing it very well, and I appreciate that, is everything out there is made up. It seems to me everything out there is questionable, and only the things that we can pick up and touch and hold sort of seems to have any kind of truth to it. The contents of books may not necessarily be true, of course. We know that when you go to school, you're being told so many things from textbooks, which turns out actually is complete rubbish. That the powers that would like to continually control us, feed us this narrative of absolute junk, and we go, oh, okay, this is what life is. This is what life's about. And I now got to that point. And going, no, this isn't what life is about. And this is why in many ways that my partner Julia and I just want to get away from the nonsense, from the lies, the perpetual, we've turned the television off years ago, and I don't watch so much of the news stuff on YouTube, because again, this is the new place where they're telling you and feeding you lies, and people are saying things. And I appreciate that I, of course, have had my detractors who will say that what I'm saying is a lie. And the thing is, you have to do your own due diligence. You have to go and work it out. You can't rely on anybody anymore. You've got to go and do it. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to like-minded people. Accept what they're saying to a point and going, okay, I'm open-minded, but go and work it out. Think. To me, everything now is about what's inside here, not what's outside, because what seems to be outside is a narrative. It isn't true. What's inside, who I am, who I really am, not the physical side of me, but and beyond the mental side of me, the spiritual, the soulful side of me is what is genuine and true, as far as I can tell. You know, as far as I can tell, I am some form of consciousness, some aware something, and everything else that I'm aware of is not part of me. It's not me. My hands aren't me. My head is not me. My mind isn't me. My brain isn't me. There is me that uses and somehow is locked into it for a life cycle, but it isn't me. And then the further you extend from everything is not me. Now, you know, people like Alan Watts will say, well, you know, where do you end and the rest of the world begin? And that's a very interesting thing, because the thing that we move through, the space that we move through, is we think of it as being empty, but it may not be empty. I mean, it's got air in it, oxygen, and it's got various other gases in there. It's got radio waves going through it. I've recently read that things like atoms don't exist. We believe that they exist, but actually that's another load of old stuff. So I don't know where my body actually ends and where this mirage of life continues. Now, as I said, I am philosophical in today's. It's a Sunday. It's one of those days where you can kick back a bit and you start to think, what is life? What is it about? Where am I? And all I can tell you is that the things I can pick up and interact with, I can do things with. The narrative that is being thrown down the telly of this is about to happen and this is about to happen and we're surrounded by this and all these other things. I don't know anymore whether any of that is true and whether it is all part to keep us down, to keep us downtrodden and obedient. Because if we knew that we had more power than they let us know, if we knew that the world was not as we saw it and had been told it, if we knew that we were free beings, that we could do anything, go anywhere, have anything, do anything, those that would like to have all of those for themselves, those selfish beings that want to control us and funnel us and dictate how we perceive the world, they wouldn't get that fun themselves. I don't suppose any of this is really making a huge amount of sense. I guess what I'm saying is that we need to be aware, very cautious. It seems that the narrative, I think we're in an amazing time, by the way. I think the narrative that we've been told is crumbling so fast and more people are seeing it. Whatever that narrative is, whether it's we went to the moon, whether there is a solar system and outer space, whether there is atoms and neutrons and things, whether nuclear explosions ever happened, there is this narrative that is trying to keep us from achieving great things. This is crumbling. The dam is bursting, light is coming through. The notion that something that is in the atmosphere, that, oh gosh, you've got to have this, that the pharmaceutical is a way, it's crumbling. The truth is just coming out. And the point is, we've got to be awake. We've got to be open to knowing that so many of the concepts that we've had have been lies. Lies upon lies upon lies, that it is very difficult to accept some of those lies for what they are. And yet, sooner or later, we're going to have to face that reality. I don't know whether any of this has made any sense this morning, but you can see that as you start to peel back the onion, it does get confusing. It challenges one's belief. And you get to that point where you go, I'm looking for that anchor point. What is real in the end? And all I know, the only thing that seems to be real is that I am in some way conscious and everything else is made up.